This is Fluent English Journey Podcast.
From Speak English with Nora. Welcome back, English learners. I'm Nora, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be here with you today.
And I'm Ethan. Today, we're talking about something really close to my heart, the power of never giving up. And you know what? This applies perfectly to learning English, too.
Oh, that's such a perfect topic. You know, Ethan, I was just thinking about this yesterday. I met someone who told me they'd been trying to learn English for 5 years, and they felt like giving up.
Giving up, that means to stop trying, to quit something. But that's exactly what we don't want our listeners to do.
Exactly. So today, we're going to share some inspiring stories, talk about famous people who never gave up, and most importantly, give you the motivation to keep going with your English journey. Are you ready for some inspiration?
Absolutely. But first, let me tell you a quick story. When I was learning Spanish, yes, I'm still learning, I remember one day I was so frustrated. I couldn't roll my R's, and I thought, maybe I'm just not good at languages.
What does frustrated mean, Ethan?
Great question. Frustrated means feeling angry or annoyed because you can't do something or achieve what you want. You feel stuck.
Right, like when you're trying to remember a word in English, but it's right there on the tip of your tongue, but you just can't say it.
Exactly. That's frustration. So anyway, I was feeling frustrated, ready to quit Spanish completely. But my teacher said something I'll never forget. She said, Ethan, every expert was once a beginner.
Oh, I love that. Every expert was once a beginner. That's so true. You know, it reminds me of a story I heard about a very famous person. Have you heard of Colonel Sanders?
The KFC guy?
Yes, the KFC guy. But listen to this. He didn't start KFC until he was 62 years old. And before that, his famous chicken recipe was rejected by over 1,000 restaurants.
Rejected. That means they said no, they didn't want it.
Right. Over 1,000 times people told him, no, we don't want your recipe. But he never gave up. He kept going, restaurant after restaurant, until finally someone said yes.
That's incredible. Can you imagine being told no that many times and still continuing?
I know, right? It takes real determination. Speaking of determination, our English learners need that same spirit. Learning a language isn't easy. It's a long journey with ups and downs.
Determination, that's the quality of being committed to achieving something, even when it's difficult.
Perfect explanation. And you know what? I want to share something personal. When I first started teaching English, I had this student. Let's call her Maria. She came to me after failing her English exam 3 times. She was almost in tears, saying, maybe English just isn't for me.
Oh no, what did you tell her?
Well, first I reminded her that failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of success. Then I asked her, Maria, what's your why? Why do you want to learn English?
That's a great question. What was her answer?
She said she wanted to study medicine in Canada to help people in her home country. When we talked about her dream, her whole face changed. She remembered her purpose.
Purpose. That's your reason for doing something, your goal or mission.
Exactly. And you know what happened? 6 months later, Maria passed her English exam with flying colors. She's now in her 2nd year of medical school in Toronto.
That's amazing. It really shows that having a strong why can help you overcome any obstacle.
Overcome, that means to successfully deal with a problem or difficulty.
Right. And speaking of overcoming obstacles, I think we should talk about some practical strategies. What can our listeners do when they feel like giving up on English?
Oh, great idea. First strategy, celebrate small wins. Did you understand a movie without subtitles for 10 minutes? That's amazing. Did you have a conversation with a native speaker at the coffee shop? Fantastic.
I love that. In psychology, they call this positive reinforcement. When you celebrate small achievements, your brain releases happy chemicals that motivate you to keep going.
Positive reinforcement, that means rewarding good behavior to encourage more of it.
Exactly. Another strategy I recommend is to change your perspective on mistakes. Instead of thinking, oh no, I made an error, think, great, I just learned something new.
Oh, that's brilliant. There's a famous quote by Michael Jordan, the basketball player. He said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I failed over and over and over in my life, and that is why I succeed."
Wow, so even one of the greatest athletes of all time failed constantly. But he used those failures as stepping stones.
Stepping stones, those are things that help you make progress toward a goal, like stones you step on to cross a river.
Perfect. And here's another thing I want to share with our listeners. When you're learning English, you're not just learning a language. You're training your brain, building confidence, and opening doors to new opportunities.
Absolutely. Every time you practice English, even if it feels difficult, you're making your brain stronger. It's like going to the gym for your mind.
You know what? I think our listeners should hear this. There was a study that showed people who speak multiple languages have better problem-solving skills and are less likely to develop memory problems as they get older.
Problem solving, that's the ability to find solutions to difficult situations.
Right. So when you're struggling with English grammar or pronunciation, remember, you're not just learning English, you're making your entire brain more powerful.
That's so motivating. And speaking of motivation, I want to address something I hear from students all the time. They say, "But Nora, native speakers make it look so easy."
Oh, I know this one. Here's the thing. We native speakers have been practicing English every single day for 20, 30, maybe 40 years. You're comparing your Chapter 1 to our Chapter 30.
Exactly. It's like watching a professional pianist and feeling bad because you can't play like them after 6 months of lessons. That pianist has probably been practicing for decades.
And here's something that might surprise our listeners. Even native speakers make mistakes. We forget words, we use incorrect grammar sometimes, we stumble over pronunciation.
Stumble, that means to make a mistake or have difficulty with something.
Right. Perfect is the enemy of progress. You don't need to be perfect, you need to be consistent.
Consistent, that means doing something regularly, the same way every time.
So let me ask our listeners this, and I really want you to think about this and maybe share in the comments. What's your English learning why?
Yes, what's your dream? Do you want to study abroad, get a better job, connect with people from different cultures, travel the world with confidence?
Whatever your reason is, write it down. Put it somewhere you can see it every day. When you feel like giving up, look at that piece of paper and remember why you started.
And here's one more story before we wrap up. There's a Chinese proverb that says, "Fall 7 times, stand up 8." That's the secret to success in anything, including English.
I love that. Fall 7 times, stand up 8. It's not about never falling down. It's about always getting back up.
And you know what? Every single person listening to this podcast right now has already proven they never give up. How do I know that?
How?
Because you're here. You're still learning, you're still trying, you're still investing time in improving your English. That persistence will pay off.
Persistence, that means continuing to do something even when it's difficult.
Before we finish, I want to give our listeners a challenge. For the next week, every time you practice English, whether it's listening to a podcast like this one, reading a book, or having a conversation, I want you to say to yourself, "I never give up."
That's a fantastic challenge. And remember, we have a transcript and practice exercises for this episode in the description below. Use them to review the vocabulary we covered today.
And please, please share your story in the comments. Tell us about a time when you wanted to give up but didn't. Or share what motivates you to keep learning English. We read every single comment.
Remember, every expert was once a beginner. Every fluent speaker once struggled with their first conversation. You're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be.
Your English journey is unique. It's yours. And every small step forward is worth celebrating.
So keep going, keep practicing, and most importantly, never give up. Your future self will thank you.
Thanks for joining us today, everyone. I'm Nora.
And I'm Ethan. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and remember,
Never give up.
see you next time on the Fluent English Journey podcast.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out my other videos to keep improving your English. See you next time.